So, yeah, as Garrett said, the book looks at the ways in which different cultures make sense of the world, and through that, one of the fascinating things we see is how the culture, each culture creates its own values, and those values actually shape history. And so we look at how agriculture arose around the world, and then how this huge split happened between Eurasian thinking, which went first with, we first discover in the ancient Greeks a different kind of dualistic way of making sense of the universe that led to Christianity, which I describe as really the first systematic dualistic cosmology. And what is so fascinating is that we think nowadays of Christianity and science as being on opposite sides, like these, there's always the battle between these two. But in fact, it turns out that early Christianity served as an incubator for modern science. And the scientific revolution was filled with people, the great names we know now, Kepler, Galileo, Newton, who saw themselves as seeing into the mind of God. And they came from a tradition of hundreds of years where Christian rationalism, as I call it, was really this notion of reason is God's gift to humans, and so we need to use it to make sense of the universe. And that led to the way of thinking that led to today's world. And a theme that we see is that while this way of thinking has really led to so many of the benefits of technology, that everything we take for granted, that all of us rely on and are so glad for, it also has led to the way of thinking that has caused our civilization to find ourselves in this terribly, frighteningly unsustainable path that we're on. And the book looks at a parallel kind of history of what happened in East Asia. It looks quite deeply at Chinese thought, how it originally arose and how it evolved. And it sees a different kind of thinking, a thinking of an integrative way of seeing humans' relationship with themselves and with the natural world. The concept of dualism just didn't even exist. It wasn't even thinkable in the Chinese worldview. And we see Chinese sages talking about what was important in the world was not like to understand nature in order to conquer it and to see this like mind of God through reason, but to harmonize with the natural world. And so this way of these two different ways of looking at how to live in the world become a central theme as the book goes on. It's a little bit like a sort of detective story. So how do we get to this place we're at now?